Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Tuesday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to carry. It's Tuesday. That means Buddy Martin will be joining us. We'll also be joined later in the program today by all-time leading passer here at the University of Florida, Chris Leak will join us. We'll get his thoughts on Game 1 for the Gators in 2020. But let's go to the Titan MR hotline, and we're joined by our good friend, old Buddy Martin. You can check his show out. It's the Buddy Martin Show, Monday through Friday on Facebook Live around 9 p.m. Eastern when you're winding down your night. Good morning, Buddy. How are you?
Good morning, Shane. Yeah, my day hadn't even started yet. I mean, I got another 11 to go, but I'm doing good. Hey, it's some rejuvenation going on around here, and got a game in and got 7 games in. You know, Greg Sankey was a happy dude on Saturday night, wasn't he?
Well, I mean, you got to tip your hat to him and everyone involved to get this thing going. I think they waited the right amount of time. I thought the SEC games were very intriguing, and I think it's going to get better as the year progresses.
A lot of offense, a lot of coaches trying to figure out why. The most common thing I heard, I'm sure you did too, is we didn't practice any tackling. They haven't been chasing the quarterback around in 6 months. And it showed, particularly for Florida. I'm anxious to see what Todd Grantham's going to do. He's going to be on a presser today. Obviously, changes will be made. There's a lot of reasons for it. I know you got yours. I mean, there's a personnel issue. Short a guy, then you lose one to targeting, you know, and then you just kind of sometimes – I mean, let's be honest. Lane Kiffin can create some matchup problems with the talent, but they are just no good on defense, as you pointed out.
Yeah, you brought up a point about offense around not only in the SEC, but it's around the entire country, buddy. The days of a defense keeping a college offense, even a professional offense now, under 20 points ain't going to happen. The game has shifted where it's in favor of the offense. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of it had to do with lack of tackling, that stuff. But still, when dudes are running wide open, that ain't got nothing to do with tackling. You know, Lane did have a good job, good plan for us. I thought Matt Corral played extremely well. I mean, people forget he threw for 395 yards on us. When I go back and look at the Gator game again, I said it many times on your show. My concern for this team this year has been the defensive line. And I don't think we played great on the D-line Saturday. We never got any push with our front four unless we blitzed. And then we didn't really stuff the run as I expected we would. So we'll get back Jeremiah Moon, I think, for this week.
Yeah,
he will help. He will help. I'm not worried about what happened on the back end. The reason I'm not is because, well, I guess I am a little bit, but the back end and the front end of the defense have to work together. If we can't pressure the quarterback, it doesn't matter who we have playing defensive back. They have no chance. So, but it was a good win, but I think you're going to see a bunch of shootouts. I just think teams have trouble playing defense these days. Ole Miss will give up, I'm predicting right now, buddy, they will give up 35 or more points in every game they play this year. They're that bad on defense, especially in the secondary.
Yeah, well, to your point, I have to raise the question. I'm not the student of the game that you are, but I mean, I thought I saw some flashes. I mean, I thought Miller was outstanding. And
he's a linebacker. I thought, he had 14, 15 tackles. He flew around and made plays.
Right.
I agree.
I'm not talking front seven. You're on Dexter. One play looked unbelievable. And, of course, we saw Cox bat that ball down. Dexter grabbed that ball and run with it. I mean, I think there's a lot of potential on that defense. I'm with you. I'm not terribly worried about the back end. I don't know why they didn't get more pressure on the quarterback. I guess, Plumlee I can understand because he's so hard to run down. But I would have thought I didn't see the Todd Grantham blitzes I normally see, and they were playing a very, seemed to me, base defense against Ole Miss, really not knowing what Lane Kiffin would do, and I think Kiffin kept him off guard a little bit there. So here's my thinking, and maybe you can tell me if you're right, am I right or wrong. I don't worry about the defense because it's fixable. They're not terrible on defense. They got players. What I really liked was the way the offense executed and the manner in which these two Kyles, or I call them K to K, K to K now because it's shorter. We'll use it so many times. This is what we asked for, Shane. You cried like a baby, and so did I, about not having any offensive playmakers for the last 10 years. University of Florida couldn't find a receiver and a quarterback for 10 years, okay? Now they've not only found one, they found several. And the display, and I've thought about this now for 48 hours, the display I saw of Trask and Pitts as a tandem. I'm already thinking down the road about this. I got to conjure up some great combinations of pitch and catch, and you had a few. And you start throwing down the names Spurrier and, and Casey. I saw him play. You go into Reeves Alvarez and so and all your guys. I mean, there's a lot of good players, a lot of good combinations. This combination, because of the way they play together instinctively, could be as good as the University of Florida has ever had on the football field.
No, I agree. I mean, gosh, they had a great rhythm with one another last year, and obviously 4 touchdown passes to Kyle Pitts on Saturday. You got to think, buddy, if these coaches, as much as they're paid, and it's still surprising to me having the year that Kyle Pitts had last year, what DJ Durkin and the rest of the Ole Miss staff was thinking. You know what I mean? You think of Bill Belichick. Anytime the Patriots are playing a team, they try to take away that team's best player, make somebody else beat you, right?
Right.
Well, I would probably say going into the season, you lose 4 senior receivers. You got some guys coming back, and I think we're extremely loaded at that position, and I said it on your show many times. But the one guy that was a standout and first-team All-SEC and nominated for a bunch of awards was who? Number 84, Kyle Pitts. So you would think if you're the defensive coordinator of the opposing team, what are you going to do, buddy? You're going to try to take that kid away. Well, Ole Miss didn't, and thank goodness they didn't because that's their own fault. But you're right. They have a great relationship with one another. It's outstanding to watch. But you got to think Will Muschamp, being a defensive-minded head coach, who I think is a very good coach, he's going to try to take Kyle Pitts away, which is fine because that's going to allow other guys to have the ball coming their way more.
Yeah, I agree with you partially what you said, and that's what Dan Mullen, the chess player, wants. Come get us. Let's see what you got. I asked Mullen yesterday about how this matchup nightmare occurs and why, and he had a great quote. I'm gonna read it to you. Do you have a 6'4", 240-pound linebacker that can run with him, or do you have a 6'3.5", 220-pound safety that's physical as he is at the point of attack? And that is the classic matchup. You grew up learning how to find mismatches. You just took, and this guy apparently is just not somebody you can. Shane, talk about the touchdown catches. Think about what he did.
Well, you're right. Now he's a huge mismatch, but you can take him away. You can double him. Ole Miss did double him a couple of times, but the one touchdown he was on the left side, outside receiver. And it was a fade stop. His body control and the placement that Kyle threw the ball was outstanding.
Amazing.
His body control and ball skills was phenomenal on that touchdown.
Yeah.
Now, one of his touchdowns, Kyle got away with, and I guarantee you in the meetings they're telling him, don't do that again. But he trusts Kyle Pitts. He kind of threw a jump ball in the middle underneath the goalpost between two defenders.
That was a scrum. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the strength of his hands, to go
right. But I'm saying that's one where if you're playing against the Alabamas of the world, you may not want to throw.
You're going to get a pick.
But my point is, teams can double team him and take him out of the game.
Well, I want to see that.
That's going to allow other guys to make plays, and you're going to leave other guys one-on-one. So it's
got plenty. They got plenty.
It's a great situation to be in. Yeah, but he is phenomenal. His ball skills and his body control is what's amazing to me.
Yeah. I talked to Ben Troop yesterday. He's dazzles. He's absolutely dazzled. He said, I couldn't believe it. This guy's the best ever. He wants to take that number 84 and elevate that was his number to and I'll tell you what, Pitts did nothing. Anyway, just to point out what you said, you look at the catches, the one catch down, he goes down to the left, back on the ground, makes the catch. The one, how about the one where he swatted the guy? Stiff arm was in the open field and outran him. I mean, 4 different ways of scoring touchdowns. And look, I'm not ready to put him in the Hall of Fame yet, but I got to tell you something. I've seen this. I believe I've seen it now. And now you add in Trask and the way they adapt. You notice how Trask was shuffling his feet, moving up in the pocket, moving around, getting an extra half second to throw the ball. And I can't wait to see those other receivers, especially guys like Whittemore. We talked about him. You talked about him a lot. This kid is going to be something special. And finally, Kadarius Toney showed up. Are you happy now, finally?
That was the best game he's played as a Gator. Hands down, not even close. He actually caught a ball past the line of scrimmage. It was great to see. He ran good routes. He ran a jet sweep, put his foot in the ground and got going north, didn't do a bunch of juking and jiving and running backwards. I was very pleased. And like I said, he actually looked like a receiver, and it was by far, in my opinion, his best game as a Gator.
Yeah, for sure.
We got a Facebook Live here brought to you by Meldon Law, where you matter most. Jeff says Kyle Pitts was double teamed on that jump ball TD. Yes, he was.
Yes,
my point is, you as a quarterback, you trust that guy, but you don't want to make a living of trying to do that, especially
throwing double coverage, right? You taught me that, Shane.
Because here's the great thing, buddy. If you watch Dan, and he does a tremendous job scheming up and making it I don't want to say an easy read, but it clears the picture up. How many times do they take Kyle Pitts and he's the single receiver, whether he's split out wide or he's in at the tight end position? He's the single receiver to that side. What that does is it clears the entire picture of what's going to happen from the defense, because you can tell, okay, are they going to swing the coverage? Are they going to double team him? Well, now I got 3 receivers over here. Now I got them outnumbered. I'm going to play this side. So, yes, he's a tremendous weapon. And, they always talk about a tight end being kind of a security blanket for quarterbacks. He's definitely one.
More than that. That's amazing. Yeah, really amazing. So, anyway, we'll be talking about that a lot. I put this up on the board. I'm sure you know there have only been 2 other guys that caught 4 touchdown passes in a game. And by the way, Jack Jackson, you should know that.
Well, I didn't throw him to him, so how?
Oh, you didn't, but you played with him. You know who he is. Ike Hilliard, 95, Tennessee, and Kyle Pitts. Those are the 3 guys. There's a reason. But neither one of those guys are tight end dudes, okay? Think about that. 4 touchdown passes by a tight end. Amazing.
No, it really was. It was fun to watch. I thought Trask played extremely well. I'm sure he had a few throws.
Want it back.
In every game, there's a few throws you want back here and there, and there's a few throws that you get away with that could have been intercepted. But I just thought from not having spring ball, not having a live game, I thought we were very, very efficient on offense, which was good to see. I think it'll be much more difficult this week because South Carolina is way better defensively than Ole Miss.
Well, here's the thing. If they don't find some answers on defense, I think we're going to wind up. Trask is going to have to throw more touchdown passes than Danny Werfel, which, by the way, was 39.
Well,
that's a lot,
It is, buddy. But think about this: Ole Miss has a style that they play, the up tempo. That's what they're going to do. They're going to score a bunch of points. South Carolina, they looked a lot better on offense against Tennessee, in my opinion, but they're not going to be that fast up tempo what we saw. So I think it's a better matchup for us. Again, I still think the defensive line has to play better. I didn't see any kind of movement, no kind of push there. I didn't see it in the 2 scrimmages all year, and I didn't see it Saturday. But again, we're going to win games with offense. Defense will come around. I'm not worried about the secondary at all. So, buddy.
Yeah.
Did you watch any other games beside the Gators?
I watched them all. I watched them all. I mean, obviously, there's a lot that went on there. I mean, certainly LSU. I just didn't think Mississippi State was good enough to do that. I mean, I know the Pirate is a great coach, and I love his offense and all that. But LSU, obviously, you got some problems. It's a different day. It's the whole landscape of the SEC is amazing. Look. Here's one thing I want to say. Will people stop pumping up Kentucky? I'm tired of hearing it. For the last 3 years, all I've heard, Kentucky's good. They're going to be good. They'll beat Auburn. They ain't going to beat Auburn. They were never going to beat Auburn, okay?
Well, they had the ball on the 1 yard line.
I hear that all. I don't want excuses. They're not
it ain't an excuse. The damn quarterback threw a pick six.
Well, that's life. That's the way it is. I hear people every year, Kentucky, Stoops has got this team playing. It's going to be contending. Come on, man. They're a nice little team. Don't start selling like they're – how about catching up with the other storylines? How come it took so long for the rest of America to catch up on the Kyle Trask story? They were finally saying, whoa, wait a minute. This guy down in Florida, he might be the real deal. Hello.
Yeah.
You and I have been talking about it for a year. Why did
he'll get his love. But back to the Mississippi State game, what the difference is with Mike Leach now is he actually has tremendous athletes, the best athletes he's ever had on the defensive side of the ball. And LSU's going to win a bunch of games. I'm tired of people. I watched that entire game. If I were to tell you your quarterback goes 27 of 46 for 345 yards and 3 touchdowns, buddy, that's a pretty good day, right?
Yeah, the guy
345 yards.
Yeah, but I mean, look, again, this guy's been oversold to me.
Miles Brennan?
Yes, oversold.
Oh, no. He's going to have a good year, I'm telling you.
Okay, well, good year is not good enough to win a lot of games.
Mississippi State is the second best team in the SEC West right now. They're going to beat a lot of people. KJ Costello with that offense, they're going to freaking light people up.
Really, I'm impressed with Costello. Miles Brennan, I keep hearing his name. I keep hearing all these quarterbacks. Oh, this guy, that guy. Where are they? Where are these guys? I mean, let's see them. It's a long season, I grant you. But I just get tired of these fake stories like Kentucky's going to be great. Miles Brennan's going to be an all-SEC quarterback and all that crap.
I'm not comparing him to Kyle Trask. I'm looking at it from an LSU and a national perspective point. Yeah. If your quarterback in his first career start, who just replaced the greatest season a college quarterback has ever had, and he puts up 345 yards and throws 3 touchdowns, that's a damn good day. People need to realize that. They got outplayed and they were beat by a better team. So, but anyway, back to the Georgia. Me
Mississippi State's going to be playing for an SEC West title.
I think Mississippi State has a chance to beat Auburn, to beat Texas A&M. They will handle Ole Miss. They're going to be hard to stop. My sources told me that they had so many good receivers lined up. We saw it. They had 3 of them catch over 140 something yards. They got a really good running back. But they're going to be good. The West is going to be fun to watch. I can promise you that. A&M was a huge disappointment to me.
Just like I thought they would be, by the way.
Well, we'll see what they got this week.
Well, they got some players back, but I mean, let's see. You got to bring it every week. This is the SEC. Ain't no cupcake games left, Shane.
I just think it's funny that people are criticizing Miles Brennan when he throws for 345 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Well, the guy across from him threw for 623.
I understand
against the defending champions, okay?
Yeah, that's my point.
So that's why they're not talking about him.
No, they're talking about him, but they're criticizing him. And there's more to a team than just the quarterback is my point. When you look at Georgia, and I love this story coming out of Georgia.
Let's look at Georgia, by the way.
Here's what I love about this story, buddy. When my son, we went on after his 10th grade year, we went up there. We went to South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina on these one-day camps. They compared my son to this kid named Stetson Bennett, who was on their team as a walk-on. Same size. Stetson's about an inch taller. And they said that he used to just shred them in scout team. Well, he left. He transferred to a smaller school to play, comes back to Georgia. His parents are big Bulldog fans or boosters or whatever. Long story short, this is what I love about this story. The kid can play. The 5-star kid can't play a lick. He can't play a lick. And I don't think you'll see DeJuan Mathis play unless it's in a blowout situation. And I would not be surprised if Stetson Bennett is not their quarterback the rest of the year. I know JT Daniels got cleared, but JT Daniels ain't the next coming of Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was fun to see Georgia struggle, but I love the story of a walk-on kid getting his opportunity. He threw for 220-something yards and a half.
Yeah, that's a good story. I like that. And you always will be a champion of the underdog as a guy who came from the 7th string to win the SEC Player of the Year.
My point is, I don't buy into the stars at all. I can't tell you how many 5-star, 4-star quarterbacks and other positions that we've seen that they ain't even a 0-star.
All right, who's the best quarterback in the SEC besides Trask?
I would go with right now the best quarterback.
You have a hard time finding one.
No, it's KJ Costello. He played outstanding.
Well, one game.
He's gonna do that every week.
I like him a lot, but I'm saying that's what we're down to, picking a guy in his first game, and but that's okay. I mean, look,
and you're right. A great story. He couldn't even throw a football a year ago because of his shoulder and arm and all that stuff. He had surgery.
Yeah.
But Mississippi State, I'm telling you,
they're fun.
He can coach, but he's got a defense now.
Yeah, he does. By the way, can I ask you a question? I don't know how much time we got. What game were Georgia fans watching? I heard them call a Feinbaum show and say, "Oh, we played great. Our offensive line needs a little work, but we're going to be really good." They stuck it up for almost 3 quarters.
Yeah, they didn't play good until they put in Stetson Bennett.
I know, but I mean,
but before that, they were horrible.
Wait a minute, they got all these great quarterbacks. What do they have to go to? A guy who was a walk-on? What happened to all these 5-stars, huh?
That's my point, buddy.
I know, I get it. I heard you.
5 stars mean nothing. Just because a guy goes and looks great at some combine or some Nike combine elite camp because he's 6'4", 6'5", and can throw it 75 yards and throw it through a wall. I ain't got a damn bit of playing. Has no issue with playing quarterback.
Yeah. All right. You know about this virtual swamp stuff this week? Can I ask you about that?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Well, they can't get fans. I mean, they're actually trying to get fans now. If you heard the presser yesterday, Mullen's talking about come out to the swamp. It's going to be great. They're offering. I'm going to buy. By the way, I'm thinking. I hope my wife's not going to hear me. I'm going to buy a couple of cardboard cutouts.
Sweet.
They're $99 a piece. And put them in and I can't go to the games. I mean, she can't go. So I met my wife a long time ago at University of Florida, introduced by a Gator football player. So that's for her birthday. But they're having a press conference. I guess they're having a thing with Mullen, a virtual pep rally Friday. And then they're really pumping it up. And I've got Scott Strickland on the show tomorrow to talk about all that. I'm going to tell him I want to purchase those 2 cutouts. Would you purchase a cutout, Shane?
I don't want a picture of me in the stadium, buddy.
Put somebody else in. Put your dog in there.
Yeah, I guess I could do that. I didn't think about it. Yeah. So they're trying to get more people to buy tickets. Is that what they're trying to do?
They've got a lot of tickets for sale.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are saying, this is just me thinking. The reason they probably have a few tickets left, most people want to stay home and watch it because it's more comfortable. But it's not going to be, you get to watch your Gators play, and there's nothing like that. But it's still not the full college experience. It's going to be so weird. I got to do pregame show. It's a noon kickoff. So that means I got to be on campus 4 hours before. So I got to be on campus by 8. But there ain't going to be nothing on campus. There's going to be no tents set up, no cars with their tailgates down.
No tailgates, yeah.
That's what's going to be so weird to me.
Who's going to be your guest on for 4 hours before the game? Who you got lined up?
Me and Steve Russell do it every year.
Oh, I didn't know you did that long. What time do you do it?
Yeah, we do it for an hour.
Oh, I thought you said 4 hours before. I thought, man.
We go 4 hours before kickoff.
Yeah, no, I know. Russell does a good job. I know that show. I thought you were doing something. You said you got a new show. That's not new.
No, I didn't say new. I just said I have to be there.
Okay, I must not have been hearing you very good. Anyway, it's a virtual swamp week, and yesterday I was kind of amused in a way that Mullen had to pitch it hard. Hey, it's October, it's a swamp. Life could be normal again, and he's right to do that. It's good. To think that there are tickets available, they're having to pitch hard to sell right now in the swamp and against an old nemesis a former coach. in South Carolina. SEC football in the swamp. It's back, and they have not sold it out, even limited number of tickets.
Huh. Well, refresh your vehicle and your brand with a vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot. September's your lucky month at Wrap Spot. Mention promo code Shane and receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. Buddy, we got a few more minutes here with Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. We're going to have Chris Leak join us here momentarily.
Ask you about that FSU game. That was his, I think, finest moment when they called a timeout and they were playing in Tallahassee, and they were talking about what to do, how to do it, and Urban got kind of conservative. He says, "Coach, let me run the offense." He took it down the field about 75 yards for a touchdown. That was one of his finest moments, I think.
Okay, I'll make a note here. The FSU game, huh?
FSU game. And he went to the sideline and he talked to Urban, and they talked what they're going to do. He and Mullen was obviously in the press box, and he said, "Let me do it." And he went down the field with him, just chunks here and there, and got him in the. I think he might even run the ball on himself for the final 2 yards. I'm not sure, but anyway, that was one of the defining moments for Chris Leak, in my opinion. A much underappreciated quarterback in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, people forget he's our all-time leading passer.
You said that a while ago, and I just stopped thinking, whoa, wait a minute, I forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
He 4-year starter, threw for a ton of yards, had a tremendous career. Now doing good things down in Orlando, training quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, all that good stuff.
Hey, Shane, how many touchdown passes would you throw this? People, I just couldn't believe your high was 28. You threw 28 in the first half of the season. Now
we didn't throw the ball as much as teams are throwing nowadays. I don't think I ever had more than like 30 attempts in a game.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that's what it was, the fun and gun, but I feel like the Florida offense, ever since when Kyle started playing quarterback, people are worried about. I can't tell how many people, buddy, text me about our run game. I don't give a damn if we can't run the ball a lick. His job is to win games. And when you see a weakness of a defense, it's his job to attack that weakness. And Ole Miss couldn't cover Buddy Martin, so why should we try to run the football? Let's throw it. If they can't cover us, let's throw it. So long story short, he threw how many attempts? Kyle had like 40-something attempts, I believe.
Yeah. I got it here someplace, but yeah, it's 40-something. I think it might have been 40.
The game has changed, and it's to the offense's advantage nowadays. And
how many would you throw today? 35, 40?
Coach Spurrier, you go back and you look at his
I know
teams.
He ran the ball in the second half all the time when he's ahead.
Yeah,
I understand.
But I mean, even at South Carolina, he didn't throw it that. I mean, I don't remember us really ever throwing more than 40 times a game. And
really,
and nowadays that's a given that we're going to throw it 35, 40, 50 times.
Really?
And I mean, I wish I could go back and play quarterback right now.
Yeah. How about
Especially
some of the other guys just saying they'd like to? Wes Chandler like to go back and play wide receiver too. What would he do? Think of that.
The game has changed, and it's weird because I'm a firm believer. I mean, you think about Alabama, known for all this great defense.
Mm-hmm.
Missouri moved the ball up and down the field on them.
I didn't see that game. That's what I heard.
I watched it. They didn't score a whole lot of points.
What was the deal? They were just playing soft defense or what?
No, it's just hard to play defense this year. I don't care who you are.
Well, who's the best defense in the league?
Oh,
think out if Alabama's not, who is it?
I'm going to have to lean to Georgia right now.
Okay.
From what I saw, the way they run around defensively, they look good defensively.
Yeah. By the way, Trask threw 42 times, completed 30, 416 yards. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I would say on over-under for you, it would be 35 if you were playing today. You'd and talk about just for a second the connections, the players that you never saw Spurrier and Casey or Reeves and Alvarez and so on and so forth. For you had several. I mean, you had Dorgan, you had Ernie Mills, and talk about your receivers that you had and who you felt comfortable with and why you always like to go to them.
Well, Willie Jackson was my main comfort blanket, but we spread it around a lot when I was playing back in the day. We never focused on one guy. I think teams are going to try to take Kyle Pitts away, whether they can do it or not. And
how are they going to do that? How?
Well, like I told you can double team him. And he was double teamed the other day, but as a quarterback, if one guy's double teamed, that means you got numbers somewhere else. So if they're double teaming, we should be throwing it somewhere else, and I think Kyle Trask will do that.
Hey, the drag route, how are you going to double cover a guy on a drag route? I mean, that's not – you can do it, but, I mean, I think he'll get open. But let's just say this. It's a good problem to have, isn't it? Everybody's got to go into the game and give up a guy.
Yep, no question about it. Buddy, we got to run, get a timeout here. We'll talk to you tonight, my man.
All right, Shane. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Buddy Martin. Join us on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. We're going to take a first time out of the program. At Center State Bank, we put business first. We are the largest community bank in the state of Florida. And understand that small business need a community business partner that they can rely on. Center State has 5 convenient Alachua County locations to serve you better. Center State Bank, member FDIC. We'll be right back, and we'll be joined by our all-time leading passer here, Chris Leak.
Hey Gator Nation, this is your former head ball coach Steve Spurrier. Check out our show, Inside the Huddle with Shane Matthews and Steve Russell, every Tuesday during football season on 8:50 a.m. and 98.1 FM WRUF at 10 o'clock a.m.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our Gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility.
GTS Handyman Services, whether you need carpet cleaning or expert painting in Gainesville, they are the team to hire.
Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte.
Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, The Digital Mortgage Guy, Adams Ribs, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Davis Gainesville Chevrolet, Miapa Latin Cafe, Rap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Radware, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, TB Financial, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Dar Shakow Insurance.
Again, thank you for all the great businesses that support the show. Please remember, if you like what we are doing here, thank our sponsors and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. I want to thank our man Buddy Martin for joining the program at Celebration Point. That's where the Gators go to celebrate, with premium brands like Bass Pro Shop, Tommy Hilfiger, Hotel Indigo, Nike, Medici's, Regal Cinemas, and coming spring of 2021, the HBC's new restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Visor's Rooftop Bar. We will see you at Celebration Point, where the Gators come to celebrate. We're now going to go to the Titan Hillmire Hotline, and we're joined by a guy that did tons of celebrating here at the University of Florida, our all-time leading passer, Chris Leak. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Hey, Shay. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, my man. Well, we made it here, Chris, through all this pandemic. SEC kicked it off this past weekend. Gators, man, they look good on offense Saturday against Ole Miss.
Yeah, it was definitely exciting to get football going, especially for the Gators. And I'll tell you what a way to come out. Even with the pandemic, still it's a tough, as you and I know, it's tough to play on the road in the SEC. And the way that Kyle Trask and the offense looked, and I was really excited. I'm really excited about just the season in general coming up, especially after the first game. We started hot, which is what you want to do coming out, and looking forward to seeing more of that as the season goes on.
When you look back at this game, Kyle Pitts is a huge mismatch. We just talked to Buddy Martin about it. He's 6'4", 6'5", about 235, 240, runs like a receiver. Dan does a tremendous job scheming and getting him isolated one-on-one. And then if they have to double team him, sometimes we still throw it, even though he's double teamed, but that's going to allow, to have numbers on the other side. When you played for Dan, was there any particular guy that y'all tried to isolate and maybe get a mismatch on?
I'll tell you what, you have to, when it comes to tight ends, I was fortunate enough to my freshman year. You have to go all the way back to my freshman year. I played with Ben Troop, and he was a mismatch nightmare for linebackers and safeties just because of his pure size. He could run past you, and obviously he was a really, really good blocker. So it was hard to know and to find him where he was. We used to move him around a lot, and that was under Ed Zombreaker actually at the time, who was my OC for under Ron Zook. We utilized him a lot, like the same way they use Kyle Pitts, and so I tell you what, having that tight end, as you know, Shane, it's a safety blanket for the quarterback because he can find those open areas and he can get that mismatch against guys smaller than him at times, and it's fun to be able to find a tight end that's that versatile and that can line up in different areas of the field. And that's a fun, nice big target for the quarterback, and I'm sure Kyle loves. You can tell that Kyle loves throwing to him.
When you look at Kyle Trask, and we'll talk about what you're doing now, you do a tremendous job training quarterbacks down in the Orlando area, but I'm sure you watch the quarterback position very closely like I do, whether it's on TV and live action. When you look at the difference between you saw Kyle Trask play last year and what you've seen in one game this year, is there anything that stands out from you from a fundamental standpoint?
Well, I'll tell you, just from, obviously the observation of just one game, his command of the offense, his confidence in going up to the line and seeing things a lot sooner than what he did a year ago. And what's most, I think, stood out for me personally, from for something I do around the state as far as coaching quarterbacks, is his improvement in his ball location. I mean, he threw a touchdown pass in the left corner to where like a back shoulder throw for a touchdown. It was a beautiful throw. You can tell that all the work that he's been doing in the off season, as far as his fundamentals, his footwork, has put him in position to make to be more accurate in his ball location. It's been fun to watch because to come out and throw 6 touchdowns in that home opener or in the opener against an SEC opponent is really fun. I mean, I can go back to 2004 and where I had my one and only 6 touchdown game against South Carolina. And it's when you're that hot, it's really, really fun to be at that position at quarterback. And for him to start out that way, I tell you what, it's going to just open the floodgates for what this offense is capable of.
Yeah, we're speaking with Chris Leak here on the Titan Tomorrow hotline. So, Chris, I think back to, when you played under Dan Mullen and what, they usually say you only got, I'm trying to remember, did you play 1 or 2 years for Dan?
2 years, 2005 and 2006.
That's right. So, this is year 2 of Kyle in the offense. Talk a little bit of how more comfortable you felt, from year 1 with Dan Mullen as your coordinator to year 2.
It's a huge difference. I think, from my perspective is you get to know Dan a lot better as far as his mindset, how he thinks, what he likes to call, whether you're in open field, red zone, backed up, third down, opening drive. You start to understand his flow of play calling, what he likes, and now he also starts to understand what you like, what you don't like as a quarterback, and he makes those adjustments for you. And I think that's something that you've seen Dan do every year with his quarterbacks. His quarterbacks get more comfortable because he's one of those coaches now that's more lenient to doing things that's going to help his quarterback be comfortable throughout the game and start fast and put him in some successful situations where he can make an easy screen throw or easy throw just to get started and get your momentum and confidence up. That's really important from a quarterback coach and play caller relationship, and you can't say enough about a coach that does that and helps his players out and that adjusts to his player skill set. It's a big deal, and you see it right in front of us with the emergence of Kyle Trask from year 1 to year 2.
We got a Facebook Live comment here brought to you by Meldon Law, where you matter most. Richie wanted to know, does the running game get more traction this week? Here's what I say to that, and I want to hear your thoughts on it about the run game. We struggled running the football last year, but the head coach's job, the play caller, is let's attack the weakness of the defense and what we do well, and we threw it. Well, we still ran for 196 yards against Ole Miss, And my point is, I don't give a dang if we don't run a lick. If the weakness is the other team's secondary, we need to throw it every down. Do you agree with that, Chris?
I totally agree. You got to go with the hot hand and what's working for you offensively, and you have to go to what your strengths are. And if your strength is throwing the football and putting the ball in the hands of your quarterback and relying on his decision making, I think that's what's best for the offense. Now we both know that you have to have some type of sustaining running game. It doesn't mean you have to run for 200 or 300 yards. It just means when you run the ball, you have to run effectively. You have to keep the defense honest to where they just can't make you one dimensional, which is important. And I think we did that against Ole Miss, is that we kept the defense off balance and with some up tempo, which also helps with that, as you see teams are doing, just like us. Let's see Clemson doing a lot. And but yeah, you want to be balanced offensively as much as you can, but you also want to put the ball in the hands of the players that are going to go down the field and score. I'd rather have a 40-yard game than a 4-yard game any time. So I think that's my view. I'm probably a little biased because I'm a quarterback and I love to throw the ball, but I'll take that 40-yard gain any day.
I'm with you. At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. We're speaking with Chris Leak, Florida's all-time leading passer, national championship quarterback here on the Titan Lamar Hotline. Chris, a lot of people after game one, obviously Gator fans are happy, but there's they're concerned about the defense, which I hear them, but we had some breakdowns here and there. We didn't pressure the quarterback like we should, but then you can look at, what Ole Miss did defensively. They couldn't stop us either. Do you think – I personally think the days of holding offenses in college football to 20 points or less are over, just because it seems like the game has transferred to being to the offense's advantage. I mean, do you agree that you're not going to have these stout Alabama defenses of the 90s and the early 2000s? I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I completely agree, especially this year with the pandemic, because this year is a little different to where teams, the way they had to practice. I mean, the limited amount of reps that you got to prepare guys for tackling, for live drills, for your defense. There's just speaking of this year individually, but like you're saying, Shane, it's getting that way. On a regular basis, you see less practices, less tackling drills, and more skill set development on the defensive side. And you're going to see that. You're going to see more missed tackles, those type of things happen on game day because that as an effect of that cause. So I think the pandemic has affected just about every team in college football and NFL. You see a lot people more tackles being missed. I think because of that, because everybody who knows football knows tackling is a critical fundamental for a defense to practice every day. And when you can't do that every day due to a pandemic or due to less practices during training camp, it can affect you, and it's starting to. You can tell it's starting to gear a little bit more towards the offenses, and more shotgun, more up tempo, which is exciting for us offensive guys to watch and see a lot of scores and things of that nature. But I think that definitely will have an effect on the game. As far as the Gators go, Shane, I think you hit it around the head. Is that we got to pressure the quarterback more, and anytime you can get the quarterback on the ground more, your defense is going to play a lot better. And that's one thing that I know was a concern for our offense was just the sustaining health for our offensive line throughout the season, and they played phenomenal against Ole Miss, and I think that was the main reason why we had so much success offensively, because the offensive line played lights out, and we're going to definitely find more ways to pressure quarterbacks defensively, as we've seen the last couple of years under Grantham.
We got a Facebook Live question here brought to you by Meldon Law, where you matter most. Richie wants to know, ask Chris about his memories of the national championship game against Ohio State.
Oh, I tell you what a great week, and obviously what a great night. It's one of those games where very few people, outside of our locker room thought we had a chance to win that game. I just go back to the 22 seniors we had on that team. That was a really special unit that we all came up. Some were in the Spurrier area. Most of us came under Ron Zook, and obviously the transition that we had under Coach Meyer, it was huge. We went through a lot together, and we went out to we set a mission out to bring Florida back to a national championship, and so that's the memory of the guys. For me, it's the guys in the locker room. Obviously, we had some really fun times on Saturdays, on the prime time and the swamp. So it's those are the memories that I remember the most. Is my memories with the guys and academic advisors, the trainers, and obviously the meetings with coaches. You remember the people that you were around and the effect that you had on them, that they had on you, and the inspiring stories you have day in and day out. So that's special time. It was definitely a special day for the Gators down there in Arizona, and definitely will be a memory that I cherish for the rest of my life.
We're speaking with Chris Leak here on the Titan More Hotline. Chris, let everybody know you're training quarterbacks down in the Orlando area. You help a bunch of high schools. Let them know what's going on there.
Yeah, it's so my training academy is Airstrike Passing Academy. It's based in Orlando. I cover right now about 18 counties throughout the state, so do a lot of traveling throughout the week and helping quarterbacks right now, and helping a lot of coaches doing some consulting, helping them throw the ball around a bit for their high schools, and even youth leagues now I've dipped into. So it's a lot of fun being around the purity of the game, and players that want to get better and better each week. So it's been a lot of fun, getting up and helping kids excel in the passing game, and week in and week out. So it's something I obviously love to do, have a passion for, and definitely is part of my calling. So it's a fun time.
Yeah, so I want to pick your brain on this. I don't know if did you get to see any of the Georgia game at all, Chris?
Very little, but I kind of caught the highlight.
Well, the reason I say that is because they started a kid named DeJuan Mathis, who was a 5-star, this top dual threat quarterback from, I want to say, Michigan or somewhere, 6'6", 225. And, man, he was not accurate. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn and just played horrible. And in the second half, they insert a walk-on quarterback that comes in there. He was accurate, knew where to go with the football, and threw for like 220 yards and a half. And the reason I'm bringing that up is you training so many quarterbacks, it drives me crazy when, they have these different combines and things of that nature, and certain quarterbacks get labeled as a 5-star because of their size, their arm strength, but they're not accurate at all. And, there's more to playing quarterback than just the measurements, I should say.
Right.
Do you see that with a lot of quarterbacks that you work with? All they worry about is how hard and how far they can throw it, and they don't worry about their anticipation and accuracy?
Yeah, it's a common mistake made, and it's kind of because of the way the game has been structured a bit. But anybody who knows football understands that the quarterback that can locate the football, which is something that we both pointed out that Kyle Trask has excelled at tremendously in his first game against Ole Miss. It's the quarterback that can locate the football, throw it with accuracy, have a high completion percentage. That's the guy that's going to be productive, because at the end of the day, it comes down to your production and your performance on the field. A lot of guys, especially in high school and even youth, they look great in shirt and t-shirt, but football is a contact game, and so you have to be able to build the correct fundamentals from the ground up, from the foundation, and focusing on accuracy for a quarterback should be is a top priority, more than trying to see how far you can throw the football. So it's a common thing that you see at the youth and high school level, and something that it's just a concept that they have in their head for whatever reason, because you see the highlights on ESPN, And most of the highlights you see are throws past 30, 40, 50 yards, and those are the throws that get the highlights. So those are kind of the throws that they focus on. But 86% of completions in the NFL, I can tell you this stat, is under 10 yards. So that tells you a lot about what quarterbacks who are most productive are doing. And so accuracy, most important for a quarterback.
Speaking of the NFL, have you ever seen anyone with the talent level that Pat Mahomes has?
It's rare, I tell you that. It's a rare talent. I watched him in college, and just seeing him being able to make the throws that he made in college, where his fundamentals were very, very raw. He was very, very raw fundamentally, and being able to see him still make pretty much the same type of throws that you see him making now, you could tell that this guy was going to be special. And the moment that I saw him be able to go to the Chiefs and be under Andy Reid, you knew Andy Reid was going to be able to hone his fundamentals and technique and his understanding of the game, where the game was going to slow down for him tremendously. It's you rarely see a quarterback that has everything. And I have to also point out Russell Wilson as well, who's playing lights out. I mean, his game right now is unbelievable. It's going to be a tight race for the MVP, I know for sure. But seeing the quarterbacks do all the things that they're able to do, it's really, really impressive seeing them do it week in and week out. Because you and I know it's tough to be that consistent week in and week out, especially at that level.
Yep. Last thing for you, I want to get your thoughts. Being a quarterback, we love what Kyle Trask is doing here, and Kyle got 40 pass attempts under Dan Mullen, which is a lot. But can you imagine playing for Mike Leach and getting to throw it for 60-something times and 600 yards? That'd be a lot of fun to play in, wouldn't it?
Oh, that'd be awesome. I know KJ Costello is he's having the ball, and just like most of Mike Leach's quarterbacks, man, they come in. Once they get that offense down, the air raid offense, it's a special offense to be in. I was in that offense in high school under Larry Fedora. We did a lot of, we led the SEC in offense because we ran mostly an air raid offense. And so it's a very, very fun offense to be in as a quarterback. You have a lot of freedom. You have a lot of control over, a little adjustments here and there at the line and a say of kind of what you like to run throughout the week. So it's a lot of freedom in the offense, and I tell you what, it's one thing fun to watch, with Mike Leach, and I'm happy he's back in the SEC, and I know it's going to be some exciting football, definitely coming out of Mississippi State. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Well, Chris, we appreciate you taking the time to join us. Let everybody know if they have a kid in your area or how they can get in touch with you if they need their son trained to be a quarterback.
Yeah, airstrikepassing.com. So just go there and sign up. Definitely would love to, love to train any quarterback that needs help, especially with throwing the football. So airstrikepassing.com.
All right, good stuff, my man. Stay safe down there, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Shane.
That's Chris Leak, all-time leading passer here. Join us on the Titan MR hotline, and we appreciate him taking the time. And he does a tremendous job working with those young quarterbacks down there. This Day in Sports is brought to you by GTS, Gainesville's premier maintenance company. Whether you need carpet cleaning or expert painting, fences mended, or any handyman service, call GTS 352-363-6622. This Day in Sports in 1991 at the Ryder Cup, the U.S. beats Europe 14.5 to 13.5. Bernhard Langer misses a 6-foot par putt, which would have clinched a 14-all tie, and the Europeans would have retained the cup. We got a Facebook Live here brought to you by Melon Law, where you matter most. Kyle says his mother, here it is. Shane, call him Patrick. His mother doesn't like him being called Pat. So I will make sure that I will never call Patrick Mahomes Pat Mahomes again. I don't give a damn what I call him. He's damn good. He's most talented I've ever seen. So don't forget tomorrow, we're not going to have Bobby Bowden. He's still a little under the weather. Thoughts and prayers go out to him. We are going to have JC tomorrow, but we're also going to be joined by Heath Klein, who used to be here in the Gainesville area doing radio up in Columbia, South Carolina now, get a perspective of what's going on with the Gamecocks and Will Muschamp and his crew. So should be a lot of fun in the swamp on Saturday. I'll give my predictions of the game on Friday's show. And don't forget, on Thursday, we got our high school segment as well. Today's show's a wrap, brought to you by Wrap Spot. Be safe out there, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Hey Gators, this is Coach Steve Spurrier. Pot Up with Matthews in the morning. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our Gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility.
GTS Handyman Services. Whether you need carpet cleaning or expert painting in Gainesville, they are the team to hire.
Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte.
Celebration Point Town Center. Center State Bank. Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, TB Financial, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Dar Shakow Insurance, Pomodoro Cafe,
Big Mills Cheesesteaks,
MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie, Chick-fil-A on Archer Road, Aver and Smith Personal Injury Attorneys, Orange Theory Fitness, PRP Regeneration Specialist, and Dowling Signs.
Again, thank you for all the great businesses that support the show. Please remember, if you like what we are doing here, thank our sponsors and support the businesses that support us.